Today I will be discussing the on and off principles of libertarians. I hope you enjoyed the video, as I will be discussing how yesterday I witnessed multiple libertarians abandon their principle of tolerance due to emotion. I find this unexcusable, and I will discuss it today. Hello, this is Pre-Social. Today I am recording my first video, and the reasoning for which was basically decided yesterday. The reasoning behind the entire creation of this channel was because I started a little blog a while back and I called it Pre-Social. When I created this blog, it was simply movie reviews, and slowly and quite quickly I basically ended up sifting the blog towards me discussing my personal opinions on many topics. I ended up abandoning this blog due to multiple things having occurred in my life, and I never intended to basically return to it. I never did, and probably never will. But I did remember establishing that I do intend to bring my opinions one day to YouTube, as the audience is far larger. My reasoning now to do so was the fact that I am losing faith in libertarianism. I constantly confuse the two. But libertarianism is a belief, a political and social and economic belief. This is not scripted, by the way, so I will make mistakes when speaking. Can't be bothered with scripting, so don't bitch about it. So, when it comes to libertarianism, they have 5 main principles. The principal beliefs, in my opinion, have to be tolerance, limited government, peace, individualism, and finally free markets. Yesterday, I came into a discussion where I realized that the tolerance part of libertarianism seems to be false. Mostly false. Libertarians claim to be tolerant, but when that tolerance requires being logical, unemotional, and analytical, it does not occur. They will abandon that tolerance, and they did last night when I was discussing with multiple of them. Yesterday, I'm not even going to bother giving a disclaimer on this regard. Yesterday, someone said an article on one of the libertarian groups I participate in, basically regarding a Salon article on a pedophile who basically was discussing a story. The man proclaimed that he had never committed any crime towards a child. He had simply viewed pornography with a child, but he never committed an act against the child. Of course, this may seem disgusting to many, and it just seems disgusting to me, even a desire for a child. It's disgusting. I barely understand it, how someone could feel that attraction, but it happens. There are people who feel this attraction. I have looked into the past out of mere curiosity, and it seems to be a result of brain damage, lack in development of the brain, and finally, it can simply be a genetic deficiency, which is quite interesting, the genetic deficiency part. So it can almost be compared to, as controversial as this would sound, basically can be compared to almost to the homosexuality idea of I was born this way, and you can actually say the same in this regard. It's an orientation. And people who try to, one of the libertarians I was discussing with, tried to say this is trying to normalize it, and it's not. It's called following the criteria for orientation. The orientation for pedophilia it's an orientation. It's cut and dry like that. There is no normalization attempt. It's simply, yes, this is how it is. No one is sitting there trying to tell us, maybe Salon has that agenda, but I do not believe it does, because no one is that fucking idiot, that much of an idiot. And of course there is more details when it comes to the discussion of pedophilia, but when it comes to this case, many of the libertarians, this is what really kind of blew me away with it. One discussed assaulting one saying, well, I'm being tolerant of him now, I do not like him and I find him disgusting, but then again, this tolerancy may not exist if I see him in person. Basically saying, I will beat the fuck out of him if I see him in person. Maybe I'm exaggerating when I say that, but it's basically the indication of when you say, I may be not that tolerant if I were to see him in my neighborhood. Others saying, I will not be tolerant and I will not be accepting of this. Go get help, but I'm not tolerant of you. I do not want you around my kids. I don't want to see you. And it reminds me too much of homosexuality. It does. It's how they were treating them for a long time. This is the narrative that libertarians were saying that, for example, all pedophiles naturally fuck kids. And I was just looking at it and realizing, this is bullshit. This is absurd. And when you make an assumption so large as clearly all of them do it because some do it, that's when you take that basically someone who's a pedophile must be a psychopath or a sociopath, because to not feel empathy in the case of molesting a child, as many pedophiles have come out to discuss, most of them can't do it, never will act on those urges because of the empathetic part. And many of them basically discussing these pedophiles as if they're all sociopaths and psychopaths, and I just left the conversation at one point because I couldn't read that. I couldn't look at that level of ignorance, and just having read that, having seen that, having witnessed this, as shitty as the quality of this audio may be, since I'm recording on my phone, I'm gonna help publish it anyway because I don't want to fucking keep quiet about it. I need to talk about it, and basically, fuck it, why not? So, to show that level of ignorance, for me to see this, an intolerant discussion of assault, it made me lose so much of my hope in libertarianism, and it's shockingly may just either A, send me back to liberalism, which is something I never wanted to do because I lost hope in liberalism. I lost hope in Republicans when I started seeing racism in them, when I started seeing interventionist policy in them, when I started seeing anti-homosexuality. It made me lose hope in them. Did not believe in certain things, and I couldn't return to Republicans because of that. I can return to liberals because of their basically insult to small government. They believed in big government, more regulation, and they just misunderstood the correlations that come with that, the causes that will come with a big government, and I couldn't stick by them because of that. When I came to libertarianism, the belief was small government, tolerance, and I loved that part specifically. Tolerance, free market, government. Loved it. And that is what made me fall in love with it. I also enjoyed individualism, but of course, different. But to have individualism, you must have free markets, you must have limited government, and you need to have tolerance. Because if you do not have tolerance, you are not a libertarian, because someone who lacks tolerance will violate the peace part of libertarianism. If I am not tolerant, I will commit crimes. In this case, they were not being tolerant, and they were discussing harming another person. That is when you violate the principle of tolerance, and that's when you violate the principles of libertarianism. I cannot stand by a libertarian knowing that they will believe that they will discuss that, and they will even laugh at it. The guy literally was making a joke out of this, and I was not okay with that. I cannot imagine that so many libertarians were enjoying this and were finding this funny, that this was actually something that was a viable thing for a libertarian to say. What should have happened was someone instantly should have started condemning this man, and people were actually defending him. And that is when I lost all fucking hope in them. When someone will openly defend someone who discusses harming another person by something they did not have control of, by something that they did not even commit. This man is saying that all fucking naturally, all pedophiles fuck kids. And it's an absurd statement. It's a statement that is violation of any form of logic and rationale. When I discuss this with people, a very common thing that people will say, for example, people have called me gay in my past, and I am straight, and that's what I found funny, and it pissed me off so much about it, and it's probably why I'm defending, the reason why I'm probably defending these pedophiles as much as I shouldn't be, the non-violent ones, the ones who have not committed crimes, is because I understand that to be persecuted for something you have not committed is bullshit. As someone who is bisexual, I've had people follow me home because they wanted to assault me because of the fact that I look gay. They could tell because of how I look, because I look naturally like a faggot. So, using the correct word in this regard, they were seeing me as a faggot, and they wanted to follow me home and abuse me for it, because of the way I was born, for the way that I look, and the way that I behave. And I now look at pedophiles being treated in the exact same way, but in first world countries, while I live in a third world one. In third world, they still go after gays. In first world, they go after pedophiles. They go after any tagline now that has not the victim card is not attached to. before it was blacks, and it went to homosexuals, and now it's going to pedophiles, and it's going to remain in pedophiles. Just like pedophiles, we may never be able to remove it. Basically, when I saw this level of intolerance, I lost hope for libertarians. It disgusted me. It showed that these people would abandon their principles out of emotion, and I cannot be okay with that. I will, as much as it disgusts me when I have looked into this because I knew that I couldn't discuss such a topic without understanding it. And I have read these boy love forums that you can find on Onion links. I have found and read the stories of molesters, and I found it disgusting. They disgust me, the committing of these acts. But I understand that I cannot abandon my desire for logic, my desire for truth, and my desire for tolerance if it means emotion. I will not do that. I will not abandon any of my principles in the name of emotion. I've had people insult me, talk down to me, belittle me for my age, and do everything they can to bring me down. And I have said no. I have always fought back against it because I refuse to abandon my beliefs or to stop defending my beliefs because my feelings were hurt or because someone talks shit. You can talk shit, you can do what you want, and you can, whether you're a parent, doesn't fucking matter. You do not abandon your principles, you do not talk down to someone, and you do not discuss assaulting someone. It is disgusting and it is unacceptable to do. I can only imagine the amount of people who would hate me for this opinion, but it's an opinion I'll hold. And it's because, in my regard, it's because I've had people, in one case, follow me home, trying to find my home so he could come and assault me. And when you felt oppression, persecution, and marginalization, you lose that ability to do the same act. In most cases, some people like Bruce Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner, the guy is practically going back to Bruce Jenner at this point. If someone like Caitlyn Jenner, let's just stick with her current name, Caitlyn Jenner, in this regard, she's against gay marriage, and as disgusting as this may seem to others, and I find it strange. Of course, I think it's different if it's gay marriage because we're discussing a system that was popularized by religion, and it should remain a factor of the state. It should remain a factor of basically up to these people. But I do believe that unions should have been empowered, and that a union should have the same rights as a marriage. But in this regard, if let's go over the fact that, for example, let's say Caitlyn Jenner is homophobic, which she is not. Let's say that she is. It is an absurd that a transgender person would then be homophobic. It's insane. It's stupid. But it's justifiable to some. And the justification that I have seen seems to be, it's different this time. And it's not. You will change it because you have a cognitive dissonance towards this. You have a cognitive desire to believe that it's different this time, so you can then feel justified in your persecution. It's why we'll see people who are so stubborn, who will refuse to accept that their beliefs are incorrect, because to do so, you would be abandoning something that you have made part of you. To desire in this regard, to say that we have to not be tolerant of a pedophile, you must ignore your parental desires to murder the guy, for the fact that he even dared commit the thought crime or feel attraction for someone like your daughter. And I understand the desire to harm that person, but we must we need to surpass our evolutionary desire to attack those people and actually try and pass and actually try and do something, as hard as it may seem. But unless we do it, we will never change. And I believe that we can only go somewhere in our lives if we do something, and if we surpass these evolutionary desires, this desire to harm someone in defense of our minor. And I'm not saying, because I know someone's gonna fucking bitch about this, saying, are you trying to say child rape's okay? No. I never said it. I never have. People constantly try to twist my words in this regard. Someone has tried to call me a pedophile once, and in one case someone said, you're an apologist because you probably suffered sexual abuse, and I'm not. I'm someone who will not say, in one case someone saying we need to castrate them all, or that we need to execute them all, or even daring to feel this attraction. I will not support that, just so I don't feel judged. I'm not someone who succumbs to shame or who succumbs to someone of higher status. I do not do that. I have been almost expelled from a school. I have got into a fight and I have sat there for half an hour to an hour arguing with a principal because I knew I was right. And I am not going to ever abandon my beliefs because someone took down to me or because someone of higher status tried to say I was wrong. I will only abandon my principle, my beliefs, if you can logically disprove why I should not do so. Why I should do so. Why is my opinion wrong? Why is my beliefs wrong? Describe this, explain it, and defeat me in a battle of discussion, a battle of facts and actual ideas and not emotion, and I will consider your opinion. But only in that case will I consider your opinion. Well, do not give me some bullshit argument of it's different, because it's not. We need to stop being intolerant, and I cannot say that I'm going to stick by libertarians if I see this level of intolerance any further. I'm a person who will abandon a group if I smell bullshit. If I smell that they are not liberals, if I smell that they do not follow their principles, in this case libertarians, if I see that someone is not a libertarian, that they do not follow these beliefs, I will say fuck you and I will leave that group. I will not follow a group if they cannot uphold their own principles. I will not follow a group if they will violate those principles in the name of emotion, in the name of morality. You are disgusting when you do so. You are someone who does not care for your principles. And we need to look past our principles. We need to follow our principles and look past our emotion. And most people will not do that. And I will not assign myself to a group unless they start to do that. Unless they start to look past their emotion and they start to do something logical about it. Whether or not they do so, I do not know. But let's see what happens. And in most cases, nothing will happen. But fuck it. I've said what I think, and let's see what happens. See ya. This is Bruce Social, signing out, because I don't know where I heard that, but I think I heard it in a radio, so. Yeah, bye. See ya, whatever. I'll maybe make another video if I get pissed off again. Or if I want to say something again. Fuck it. Maybe I will, maybe I'll continue it. Probably get shit for this video. If I get even one view, maybe half a view. Fuck it. Oh, I'm saying fuck it now.